Nothing but respect for my Duchess. Nan in this episode was so goddamn cool when she finally lost restraint and growled at the Duchess, telling her that she screwed her over after she said she would protect her, and then panting, daydreaming, fantasizing, crazy about the idea that she can finally go to Guy and she has a legitimate excuse because she's literally been banished from the castle. And I loved the whole position that Nan took in this episode. I loved the whole thing because she remained so goddamn cool through most of it and took the blame of the Duchess. She didn't say anything to the Duke, to Theo. And then whenever she had to direct her anger, she directed her anger to the person who forced her to stay in that goddamn marriage. Because that's what happened. The Duchess manipulated Nan to stay in the marriage so that she could save her sister. And she growled at her. She was like, fuck you, in English growls. And and then she stormed the room. And when the maid was like, this is the Duchess's room, she was like, I am the Duchess. I love that. I love that. I honestly, her mother would be so proud. So proud. And I just know that her mother is going to be on the other side of the Atlantic being like, that's my baby. That's my child. And Nan gets the letter and she's on her way to Guy, and I will get to Guy. But first, I have an issue with Theo. I said this before in my previous review that we were seeing a different color to Theo, that we were seeing how, because he's very lovely when everything is okay, isn't he? He's very dear, sweet boy. But then whenever something doesn't go to plan, something is not right, or he has to deal with some issue, he can't do it. He turns into a little child having a tantrum. Like when he was talking to James after the dinner and he was like basically apologizing for Nan advocating for her own rights. And now in this episode, when he faces like these shitting, not allegations, it actually happened. Nan confirmed it to his face. And he left for 3 weeks. And then came back and like just expelled her from the castle. And I mean, I hate it. And I think that the show is doing a goddamn good job, because when Jinny like wanted to leave the marriage, wanted to leave the house, she couldn't, because she was property of her husband and her unborn child was property of her husband. But now that Theo has to deal with this bullshit, he can just expel her whenever he wants. Like Nan doesn't have a say in it, doesn't have any rights in it. It's just treated like an object that is not dealt with in a humane way, that has no rights, no consideration. It doesn't really matter what Nan wants. It doesn't matter, because Theo is the Duke. He has the power. The castle is his, and he can do whatever he wants to the castle, to his wife, potentially to the unborn child, which now is never going to happen. Honestly, this is how you know Nan is smart. She understood so quickly that her only bargaining chip was going to be her uterus. And she literally said, it's out of service. Out of service. There's going to be no baby in this oven. And another aspect to this decision by Theo, I was feeling this. I had a feeling about this, okay? I had a feeling about this since the first episode, about Theo and Lizzy. And I had another feeling about this in this episode, which was that Theo was kind of already getting partial to Lizzy even before he knew about the cheating, right? He was already, eyeing her. And tell me if I'm being completely unreasonable. Tell me if I'm being unreasonable. In my mind, I was thinking, he's reacting so harshly to this because he's already looking for, like, not completely. Of course, the main reason for the reaction is the fact that he was actually cheated on. You know, that the person he thought was going to marry him for him and not for his title actually did marry him for his title. Like, very legitimate that he would be angry about that, because that's the thing he feared, like, his whole goddamn life. And then it happened from the person he was not expecting it from. Of course, it wasn't from Nan, it was from his mother, but he didn't know that at the time. However, I think a small part of why he was so angry and so ready to, like, expel her from the castle was because he was already eyeing goddamn Lizzy. And when they were talking, and Lizzy is eyeing him as well. And we had the confirmation in this episode that she's eyeing him. And I mean, I was right about the guy letter, that she wasn't trying to be malicious. And I don't think in this episode she was trying to be malicious either, because when Nan asks her if she should run away and go get Guy, like, I don't think Lizzy told her yes because she wanted Theo there to confess her feelings or whatever. I think Lizzy was truthfully being a good friend and, like, sending her to Guy because things with Theo seem pretty much over. I trust Lizzy to the end. Like, if you can't tell, Lizzy is probably my favorite character on this show. Trust her to the end of time. But in the end, she was going to kind of reveal her feelings for Theo a little bit. And Theo, the idiot man that he is, was already running towards Nan after his mother. Like, and this is the thing that, red flag from Theo, because if you know the person you married, if you love and trust her, wouldn't you give her the benefit of the doubt? I mean, you know your mother, your scheming duchess of a mother. The reason why you didn't want her to choose the person you marry is because you know she's a rich, scheming lady. And why wouldn't you even question this? And he was away for 3 weeks. He had 3 weeks to think about this, and never in his mind did it cross his mind the idea that his mother could be behind this. He never even thought, oh, she didn't look that surprised. Could she have known? Could she have arranged this? I don't know. I don't like Theo. I don't think there are, like, red flags flagging around me. And honestly, I've said this before, I don't like the MP that much either. So I just feel like Lizzy should just stay single for a while. Stay single. And then should run to Guy and stay there. And Theo can run his little kingdom by himself. Because now he's even expelled his mother, which I will get to it. But yeah, bottom line is, I loved Nan's reaction. I think she was, like, right the whole time. The way she protected the Duchess in the beginning, the way she snapped at the Duchess, like, she made her womb her weapon. Great weapon, by the way. I wish my weapon didn't cause me so much pain. But then she, you know, after being expelled, after realizing there was no fighting for this marriage because Theo really wasn't, like, he couldn't look at her. And I mean, she saw that. And Nan is a emotional, respectful kind of person, so she wouldn't force anything. And then she goes to Guy and blah, blah, blah. Really cute. The scene where she was panting in the carriage, I was like, oh my god, I feel it too. Please get there before he falls in love with Jinny. Because it's, I mean, I don't think he is, but I think she's, like, looking. I think she's looking. She was looking. I think she was mostly looking because of the baby, not really because of Guy. But so Theo and Lizzy, I don't think, because Theo would never consider her. Like, he would only consider her if Nan wasn't there, or if Nan wasn't an option, or if Nan was the evil cheater. But I feel like now that Theo knows the truth, he will be hurt about the cheating. But now that he knows that she didn't have a choice in marrying him, because that was the thing he was most hurt about, I think. It was the fact that Nan knew he didn't want this. Nan knew he didn't want to marry someone who would marry him for his title only. And then she did it to him. I think this was the thing that hurt him the most, to be honest, which is fair. I mean, this is the thing he struggled with his whole life. So I think what's going to happen is that he's going to find her and, like, they're going to talk and apologize and whatever. And he's going to, you know, reconcile with the idea that Nan really wants Guy. And since she didn't marry him on purpose. She was like blackmailed into it. I think he's going to be more partial to forgiving her and moving on. And hopefully we'll have like, the picture perfect marriage of the Duke and the Duchess. And then in the background, there'll be completely different relationships, which will be fun because, I mean, who doesn't like a secret love story? Cute Little Mix secret love story. And yeah, that's what I think. But I don't think that Lizzy should get with Theo until Theo proves that his red flags are just flags and are actual problems. Let's see. Now, as for Lizzy and the MP, listen. He has a decent father. He has a cool father. I will get to it. So I think that's also a good sign. But he's a politician. I know he's fighting for workers' rights, but he's a politician. We don't really trust politicians that much. Not all of them. So I feel like this guy still has to prove himself in some way, shape, or form. I think he's a guy. He's a guy, so he's gonna have to prove himself his whole life. I mean, I don't like him for the marriage with Lizzy, and it's not for the reasons that Theo outlined. Because, I mean, come on. This is not modern day. This is in the olden times when women have no rights and they have to, find a safe home. And a safe home is not always a rich home. Theo. I feel like this conversation could have been a conversation between Timothée Chalamet and Florence Pugh in Little Women. But yeah, I don't completely trust him. I think there's something coming, and let's hope that Lizzy's instincts are on point, which I think they are. I mean, are they? Because she's falling for Theo. Nan and Guy. Well, we don't get much about it because, I mean, Guy sent that letter weeks ago and got no response. So, but I'm pretty sure on his side of the deal, he's still like pum pum for for Nan, and Nan definitely is pum pum for him. So this is just such a dreamy relationship. I didn't think I was gonna get them together so early on in the season. And I mean, if she's going there now, next episode she's going to be there, right? How long are they going to keep the story on the road? Not long enough. Not long at all. They're going to just skip the sounds. I need to just include sound effects instead of doing them with my mouth. They're going to skip to when she arrives there. And I think, like, for major drama, I think she would get there at the precise moment in time when Jinny is like, eyeing Guy and kisses Guy, like testing grounds. And then Nan is gonna leave. And after Nan leaves, Guy is gonna pull away and be like, no. I like your sister. It's gonna be one of those cliche goddamn moments where, like, why couldn't Nan stay longer? And I mean, think about this in real life. Wouldn't you stay until the end? Like if you caught your person smooching your sister, wouldn't you stay just a bit longer just to make sure that they are going there? But yeah, Guy and Jinny are really close. Jinny is feeling something for him, and we had a weird moment with Guy and Jinny's friend. And you know what? I don't trust Jinny's friend. I think Jinny's friend might be working for James, or at some point be blackmailed or paid off by James or something like that. This girl is having way too much showtime to not be important or to be just a friend to Jinny. I think maybe she'll hit on Guy or get with Guy. Maybe this is the person that Nan walks in on with Guy or something like that. She has to have a role in the show. Otherwise, she wouldn't be so prominent in all these episodes. We don't hear anything about James. We don't know where the monster is. Potentially, this is what I think, okay? I think he's already either on the road or like searching for clues of where of where Guy and Jinny went. And, he could, because he was really friendly with Theo. So he must have contacts in the castle, like in the staff, like not blackmailed, paid off contacts. So what I'm thinking is he had an informant in the castle and he knows that Nan is gone and he knows that Nan is going there. So he could be following her, spying on her. He could have contacts, all the way to Italy, and he could know where she is and where she's going. This could be how James finds them. And this could be where the gun comes from. But anyway, about the rest of James' family, we see Conchita and Richard finally Richard is really just furniture at this point. We see Conchita finally figuring out the matchmaking business, and they have a little fun. I mean, to be honest, they were more important season 1. Now they're just like kind of extra characters. I think it's how the Bridgerton series also works, kind of. So they figure out the matchmaking business. However, a really sinister, very incredibly sinister plot point appears in the show, which is, I would say, maybe the big gown castle era of conversion therapy, where Mabel, that's her name, right? Mabel and Honoria. Oh my god, I'm watching so much Only Murders in the Building episodes that I think everyone is named Mabel. Mabel, it is her name. Wow. Actually, Mabel from Only Murders in the Building really has an old name. Anyway, sinister plot point. Mabel's mother wants to hire Conchita and Richard, pay them double their fee to find a match for Mabel. And Conchita is not that person. She's not that person. She's not going to put money above, Mabel's happiness and put her in a happy marriage with a man. Ew. Men, ew. Men, ew. Men, ew. Men, very ew. So what I think is going to happen is that Conchita is going to be, because we have that scene in the trailer where Mabel kisses Honoria in front of all of them. So what I think is going to happen, because Conchita knows for sure, like when she gave her that look, she was like, oh, I know what you're asking me. I know what you're asking me, and it's not for a husband for her. You're not asking for a husband for your daughter. I know what you're asking me, sinister mother. So what I think Conchita is going to do is she's going to be open with it to Mabel. She's going to talk about it with Mabel, and he's going to be like, your mother wants me to find you a match, baby girl. What are we going to do? And I think what they're going to do, because this is the direction that Conchita and Richard are leaning with this business, it's not just finding husband, it's finding a suitable person, like a safe home for these girls is pretty much the vibe that they're giving. So what I think they're going to do is they're going to find a gay man. I mean, I'm sorry. Is it not what they're going to do? Is it not their only option? They're going to find a gay man to marry her. Tell me another option. Please, tell me another option. Please. Because this show, it's very cutesies and whatever, but still abides by the societal rules of the time. Women cannot marry women, and bet you, never gonna happen in this show. So I think that's what they're gonna do. I mean, let's see at the end of the season. I mean, maybe I'll be proven wrong, but I think they're gonna find her a gay man. And I mean, I think about this a lot. This is going to be a side note for your entertainment only. I think about this a lot. If ever I was in an authoritarian regime that leaned back into traditional norms, that made every single young woman marry a man, I would just find me a gay man. That would be it. I would be going to gay bars. Imagine there's like a government order. Every young woman before the age of 35 must marry a man or face consequences. I mean, I wouldn't put it past the government to do that, but this is what I think in my head. This is the kind of scenarios that I put in my head because I'm so fucking afraid of having to marry a man, that I would just go to gay bars and find every gay person that I could, anywhere, and I would just propose to someone. And I would marry a gay man. And at least be somewhat safe, because they can still be violent, but I mean. And now the sensation of the episode, the old Duchess and the old dude, they were so cute. Like, you cannot imagine the satisfaction, the heartwarming feeling I have in my heart when I see older couples like reconnecting or getting together, like when they're older, because very hopes for me at this moment. And they were so cute when the song was playing and they were like, "Ah, I see you, boo. I haven't seen you in decades, but I see you now." And honestly, I'm quite happy that she was expelled from the castle because now she can go to him and they can be finally happy together. I love that scene. I love when old people get together in TV shows and in real life. I mean, do y'all remember Only Murders in the Building? The story with the braided little girl, woman, and Oliver. What's her name? I forget. Loretta. Loretta is her name. Loretta and Oliver. And then they got together in real life. But anyway, you guys, that's all I have for you today. I really enjoyed this episode, but I also thought, like, I mostly enjoyed it for Nan's performance and the cute old couple, because to be honest, the ball, the Midsummer Night's Dream ball was, or party, birthday party, whatever, was kind of boring. It was kind of boring. It was boring. No, kinda. It was boring. The only interesting part was that shot. The shot. I feel like they spent all of their planning on that shot, and then everything else was like, we gotta film the rest. Was cool. And then the dancing scene with the old people was cool. And everything else was kind of boring. Even Nan throwing pillows at the floor was kind of boring. Like, I liked her rage and her growl towards the Duchess. I liked her growl saying she is a Duchess. And I liked her emotion in the carriage going to see Guy. But the ball was boring. I'll see you next week. Bye.